Okay guys, welcome back. As you can see, the car's not standing behind me at the moment, but it is going to be in this video. The reason we're doing this video is I received the Disa flap in today. As you knew, I took it out. The other Disa flap on the E61 was completely knackered. I'm going to be showing you the difference between a good Disa flap and an old Disa flap. At the moment, I'm just going to explain this video. So we had another problem with the E61. The air compressor decided to fail the other day. It just wouldn't buzz anymore. So I took it apart. It's on the bench, it's in bits. I'm waiting for the other air compressor to come. That's going to be done in another video, but I was going to show you guys quickly obviously what's happened to it. And obviously when I took it apart, the condenser, the air dryer, and obviously the piston was completely shot. I've left it there on the bench hanging. We did buy a rebuild kit for it, but it was just too far gone for a rebuild kit. All the metal fragments which keep it from the electrical circuit was knackered. Everything was knackered inside it. So let me just go ahead and show you what it was like. So as you can see, here is the compressor, the air compressor. Now when I took this off, as you will see, the pistons there, they're badly scored, badly beaten. Someone had already been trying to get into this. From what I can see on this bolt right here, it's been rounded off. These are meant to be Torx 10s and someone's rounded them completely off. The pistons are completely shot and worn, as you will see on that one. There isn't no point really repairing this one. As you can clearly see, the rest of the bits are always here. As you see, that part's broken off when I took the cap off. This cap off here, it was completely broken here. It had just been too far gone. This is why it's been buzzing and it's not been working. Like I say, it's an original BMW part. It's AMK. This part, this is the air dryer receiver. This is completely gone as well. We took it all apart trying to rebuild it. As you'll see, that was the spring that goes onto the egg, and this is the rebuild kit, like so. Obviously, you'll see here, this is the solenoid valve for the air compressor. Obviously, I've had it all off in bits. It's ready to connect the new one up when we get the new one in. That's the air line that runs from the solenoid valve to the pump itself. We haven't had a chance to put it back together yet, as I say, new one ain't come in. Should be here tomorrow. I'm hoping it's going to be here tomorrow, because obviously we need to get this car back, and I'm going to show you why. Because the suspension is fitting very, very low, to the point it's almost touching the ground. It's quite dangerous. You can't drive it. The ride is completely bumpy. I don't know if you lot have ever had airbags fail on your E53s or E39 Tourings. This is a common problem. The air compressors always fail on these, and they never will change. So we do have the new Disa flap in, as you can see there, and as you can see, this is completely solid. The flap don't move, no play in it at all, which is not meant to. As you'll see there, there is no play at all in the Disa flap. Now I know this is fully working because it come off a fully working BMW. This is a BMW part, as you will see right there on the logo. It's a fully BMW part, but it's fully functional, not covered in oil like the other one. This is not come off. This is fully stuck, and this is fully stiff. Now I will say they meant to be fully stiff, let me say that, but the top one is, if you have got a 3-stage manifold, the one under the manifold, if it's stiff, it means it's not working. The top one though, because it always uses the most torque, as you see, it's a big one. This one ends up failing going loose because it's the one that uses the more power. So this one always goes loose, but the one at the bottom of the manifold will stay stiff, and it's not meant to go stiff. As you'll see here as well, we've also got the oil level sensor as well, which is, we're waiting to change over, which we will be changing over eventually. And you see right here, this is a genuine part as well, OE part. This is a Febby Bilston part, like so. That's the oil level sensor, and we've got to change that as well at some point. We do have the new oil in, we have everything ready to change it, but this is going to be the part we're going to be changing next. So please stay tuned, and we're just going to get the E61 in, and then we're going to crack on with changing it. As you'll see, the Disa valve is in quite good condition compared to the other one. It's not completely knackered, and we'll see what the car starts like after. So as you'll see guys, again we're back, and obviously, as you know, air filter box has got to be removed, and the intake hose has got to be removed, and to get to the Disa valve again. So you do realise, you do know you've got to remove all that anyway, so I'm not going to really walk you through it, as you already know how to remove it. So guys, as you're going to be seeing now, I'm going to be using this US Pro magnetic stainless steel parts tray. Now I've got hundreds and hundreds of their tools, and I've still got to show you lot quite a lot in the videos. Obviously I've just ordered a massive tool chest for here as well, for the garage, to put them all in, because my shelves are covered in tools upon tools upon tools, and I can't fit any more in here since they've been sending it. So I'm going to show you what this is. I ordered this on eBay. and they sent me another load of other stuff as well. This is all from US Pro. This is a massive parts tray. I think it won't even stick to this because this is aluminium body, so we're going to try and find a place where it goes. So let me just open it out of the box now and let's see what it looks like. I've not opened it myself, I've not even used it, like I say, so we're going to go ahead and pull it out just now. And there you have it, it's right there. This is the tool tray, and let's get it out of the packaging. So that's the tool tray right there. Now, as you can see, it's quite a big tray, hefty tray for your bits. And as you'll see, they're magnetic, so they hold the bolts in there like so. So it actually works really good. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to take the airbox out, undo the Jubilee clip. You know this, you know the drill already. Jubilee clip here, unbolt it, undo the MAF sensor, and then get the airbox out of the way. Then unbolt the Jubilee clip that's going to the throttle body, and take the whole intake boot off to be able to get access to the Disa valve. So as you can see now, guys, the throttle body boot is off. Now all we're going to do is just disconnect the connector from the Disa. You know what to do as well. Release these clamps right here, that bolt here, so that one just drops down, so you can get to the other bolt for the Disa there. And then just remember to use a screwdriver to prise the Disa out, because it does get stuck in. That's the whole idea of the seal, to not let any oil leak out, not let any air escape, otherwise it will cause an air leak and you'll be low down on power. So, but is it a good time when you do this to just inspect all around your engine here, make sure there's no leaks, make sure the engine mounts are fine, because you can get to them here so you can see what the engine's on. You can also inspect the back tray so you can see if your sump's leaking, and just make sure everything's fine here, like I say. And there's also another good time you can get these rubber grommets for the air intake box that end up liking to fall down there when people put the airbags back on. They just go there like that, and like I say, you can inspect everywhere in the engine and just make sure everything's fine before putting everything back together. All your wires are connected right, your junction box hanging on, nobody's ripped it off before, and that's about it really, like I say. So we're going to get this connector off, undo that bracket there, and then unbolt the Disa, and then I'm going to show you the difference between the new one and the old one. So as you can see, guys, now you can see the difference between the two Disas. Now you can clearly see which one's worn and which one ain't. So this one has no play, as you'll see, and then this one right here is wobbling all over the place, as can be seen here. It's wobbling and moving everywhere, and as you'll see here, this part's rattling inside. So that's how you know when you've got a bad Disa. They should not be sitting like that, they should be sitting like this. And as you'll see here, the pin's gone too far down. It's gone already, which is the rubber bit, which has probably been swallowed in the engine. The rubber bit up there has been eaten alive by the oil. Now you can see that one there, and that one right there, that one ain't got it. So this is what I mean by always check these Disa valves, because you don't want these bits coming off. Now that could end up easily coming off that flap inside the engine. You don't want that. This is a new Disa. What we're going to do is now reinstall it and fit it into reversal. So just straight in like that. It's a proper part, it's the same exact part number. Like I say, I paid £90 for that on eBay. They are expensive. Anyone knows that with these kind of manifolds, Disa valves are really expensive, but they give the power for the car. They will give rough idle, and they'll give every symptom like a bad van or solenoid. If you don't have a 3-stage manifold, then you will have problems with your van or solenoids, it'll be that. But before you check van or solenoids, always check these as well, because they fail, and it's common they fail. Like I said, it's the second car I've had a naval fail. People don't change them. But also, I'm going to show you a lot of you guys, if you suffer with overheating problems on your E60s, and you always think that you've tried the water pump, you've tried the thermostat bleeder system, always check this down here. This is the heater control valve for the heater matrix. Now, if that gets stopped up, right there, that valve doesn't come back up and open when closed properly, that will cause your car to either run cold or run too hot. This valve is responsible for controlling the cooling and the heating in your car. This can also cause where your car is not blowing cold air one side and hot air the other side. That heater control valve controls it all. Another problem with the aircon on this is, I'm going to repeat, I've said this in one of my other videos, is that valve as well, when you go to a lot of garages and they think your aircon ain't working, that valve can be shut off by the iDrive. You can control the climate control by the iDrive. Now if you turn that to hot, it will never put the AC on, never, unless you turn that back to cold on the iDrive system. No matter, even if you put the AC button on, it still won't come on. It's a good way to manipulate people in this country. What happens is, if you don't get a regas and your car isn't colder than what it was, then you don't pay the aircon charge, and they leave your car refilled because they think your aircon don't work. So here's a good trick: if you want to get free air conditioning top up, to set your iDrive to warm. And a lot of the garages don't know this. They'll just think that there's something wrong with your heater control valve or something blocked. They'll just think it's like a normal Ford where it blocks, but these don't really go. But if you do get any problems, this will be the main culprit. As you see, this is a Bosch one, and Bosch are German, as you know, so they're pretty good. But always check as well when you come down to your idle control valve. Now, since I've cleaned it, I'm not seeing no oil in there, which is a good thing in the intake. But as I'm telling you, check that, because that is the main cause that why your car will overheat as well. This is responsible for passing the flow of cold and hot air back through the heater matrix, and if it's getting stuck, that will then cause your car to blow cold air and hot air one side, or maybe not even hot air at all, just cold air when you've got it on heat. But you have to also check your iDrive options, because in the iDrive that controls this valve, and if your iDrive is telling it to have warm air and you want cold, it won't happen unless you change it. So what we're going to go ahead now do is reinstall the bolts for the Disa and reinstall the connector, and then you know the reversal, we've got to install the throttle body boot and then get the airbox back on. Then what we're going to do is we're going to start the car and see how it runs after the Disa valve, because it was given a rough idle. Like I say, you see me change the solenoid, so let's get the Disa out of the way and let's see if it carries on with that rough idle. So as you can see, guys, the guys now back together, everything's now complete. Obviously we've just got to pull that hose right down there, clip that back in, but apart from that, the car's now back complete. Disa valve's in, the new one. We're now going to try and start the car, but first off, let's just take a look at this old Disa valve so I can show you again how bad these Disa valves can really get. And when they get like that, they leak air, they're causing unmetered air, because obviously this map on this car is designed to read a Disa. Now if the Disa's staying open, it's not designed to do that. The DME knows that, and it's not meant to. So let's have a look at that other Disa. So right here is the Disa valve, that's the Disa, and that's in how bad condition it is. You can see the flap is completely gone on it, and it shouldn't wobble like that at all. Shouldn't be bent, shouldn't be twisted. This is like a completely bad Disa flap, and you saw it should be straight up, but obviously the motor's gone, so it can't come back up into its normal position, but it also can't turn either. The motor's completely knackered, and as I said, that pin there is completely shot. It's completely dried up from the oil. So obviously now I've sorted the problems on this car, there shouldn't be no more oil leaks. Everything else is sorted on it. The only thing they're left to do is the air suspension. I'm not going to do water pump on this because this has already been changed only last year. Radiator was changed as well. Coolant had been flushed, it's now red. That's about the only thing I've got to do. Oil level sensors only left. We haven't got much left to do on this, guys. Air suspension is going to be done, and that's it. My missus is going to be able to drive this car happily. We've just got to get the windows tinted, and that's about it. This car is all done on the engine side. I don't think it doesn't need brakes, or it doesn't need anything doing to it either. You've seen me really cover the whole of this car from start to finish. Now the car's ready and drivable. We are going to, like I say, air suspension next, but let's get this car started and let's see how it runs. As you'll see, guys, we're now back in the car. Obviously I'm going to be starting the car up, but I want to show you on camera level. I want to see if the rough idle goes. Now I've changed the Disa. As you can see, the check control light's the only thing on, and that's because, as you saw, I've took the air pump out, so it comes on immediately. It doesn't pump, it doesn't try anything, it just throws the light straight away. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start the car, and I'm going to see if that rough idle goes. So let's start it. And as you can see, it's rough idling until it balances the Disa, which it now has done. Yeah, because the Disa would have closed upon start. Now it's reading the new Disa, so now it will idle bang on without rough idling because the new Disa is there, and because that Disa was staying stuck, now the car feels much better as well. Sorry, even while sitting here, it was feeling as if it was jerking all over the place before, but now it seems a lot better. So as you can see, that's the problem fixed. I've changed the solenoids already, so it will definitely not be the solenoids. Bearing in mind I haven't started this car for the last 3 days. This car's took me 2 weeks to get sorted. Only true, I didn't check the Disa flap beforehand when I first got this car, and I did have the intake manifold out. I would never have suspected that Disa valve was gone. Obviously I knew they were gone on mine, but this wasn't showing no codes, no nothing. I should have just took it and inspected it. It's probably been gone after I changed everything, because I put strain and everything else. So now it's done. Hopefully we'll get great miles per gallon again, because this should be doing at least 25, 26. As it's only a 2.5 litre, mine only does 23 miles per gallon, so this must be doing more. But as you see, the idle's staying steady, it's not dipping, and this is on, as we call it, open loop. It's running open loop at the moment because cold started. So that's it, guys. As you've seen, the car is now sorted. I've shown you now how to replace the Disa flap and what it can cause. You've now seen the car been fixed, the rough idle's now gone. So that'll be it in this video. Next to come is going to be the air suspension pump, and that'll probably be the last thing that we need to do on this car. I don't take it'll probably be the last thing forever, but there will be more to come. but for the majority of the time, at least 50k to another 60k, that's the majority of the work done on this car, like I've done on mine, and mine's been running fine ever since. So let's hope it stays like that. I mean, if the solenoids give problems, we'll change them back to BMW, but so far they've been so good, so I can't really fault them either. So guys, please like, share, subscribe to this video. This is BMW Dr. Dean here. If you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, and goodbye.